I just want to talk a little bit about my uncle, our dear Uncle Neg, who just passed away recently. I've been trying to make this video for the longest, but every time I start, I keep getting choked up and I can't finish it. So, but I just wanted to say a few things, in his honor, you know, about him being our uncle, our dear uncle, being the solid backbone he was to our family, the way he helped guide us through our childhood and even adulthood. He was such a sane human being, and his perspective on life was just so solid, and he always had the right answer. And he would always make himself available to give us that answer if we needed it. He always wanted the best for us. All my life growing up, he always came by and checked on us to make sure we was doing our homework. No matter what grade we were in, he was always excited when one of us would graduate from high school. He would always motivate us to go to college. He was well read. He came up in a time where, people his age, they, could barely read and write, but he was read. He could read and write, and he would read books, and he turned me on to a book by Anthony Broader. He recommended books for me to read, and I've always had so much respect for him, man. He just, he was like a father to us, to all of us, and none of us, including myself, was beyond a spanking if we stepped out of line or didn't do our homework. I can attest to a couple of them myself, and and the way he raised his family. He had a beautiful family, a beautiful wife, and beautiful children. They're so respectful, and I've always admired them and looked up to them and tried to model myself, after them, the way they behave and the way they carry themselves. Paula, Michael, and Brandon, they're beautiful human beings, and that man, he kept his family solid, and his wife, my Aunt Rose, she was always such a lady of high character, and just so perfect of a lady and a wife, and I tried my best to model, my family and my wife at the same way. I tried to, marry a woman that as beautiful as I could, and I try to raise my sons. I have two sons, and I try to raise them to be men of character, and none of us drink, smoke, do drugs, none of that stuff like that, and that's the way Uncle Neg was. That was a man, you never saw a beer in his hand, a cigarette, and anytime somebody in the family, was out of line or something happened, he was always there as the solid foundation, in the family. Somebody passed away really close. The first time I noticed that when my grandmother, his mother, passed away. Everybody, my mom and them, everybody was screaming and freaking out in the family, even some of the men, and he didn't even shed a tear. I mean, that's the strength. I knew he was hurt, but he held himself strong for the family. And that's the kind of man. And I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I saw that. And I kept looking at him, waiting for him to break, and he never did. And I've seen that over and over throughout the years, that he was always so solid. And I never saw him cry. That was a man of strength and character. A man that, a community leader, community organizer, always involved in the local political scenes and doing things, for the community, to better the community, and I mean, that's a very, very special human being right there. I am blessed. I am honored, that he is my uncle and a member of our family. And we have to honor him, and we have to model our lives the way he did and carry ourselves like he did. A great man, a beautiful human being, and I will always, think about him and admire him and refer back to, the way he did things, to move forward in my life, and I just want to say I love you and I miss you. I will never forget you. I will never forget you. You will be in my heart forever. I mean, we're so blessed to have you in our family. We're so blessed to have you in our family. I mean, you're such a solid man, and I hope to one day be like you. So, Unc, I'm sad. I'm still in disbelief that you're gone, and it happened so fast, so unexpectedly. I was not expecting to hear that. I never thought in my life I would live to see the day that you would depart from us. I never thought that would ever happen. Even though I understand the cycle of life and the law of nature, but I was not expecting that. And rest in peace, Paula, Michael, Brandon, and Rose. I love y'all forever. You're the most important people to me. I think about y'all every day, and I just want to, tell, y'all to keep your heads up, be strong. God got you, and God willing, I hope to see y'all soon. I'm gonna come and visit you, and Unc, rest in peace. And I love you, and until we see again, Unc, love you forever. I'm out.